Welcome to episode 15 of the Kyber Show. I'm Ken, and we're covering week 3 of season 12 today. This is the third week in the 3v3 season, and it was really very similar to the last week. No real significant impact of Quill in any of the matchups I've seen yet, though I am curious in week number 4, this coming week, if we do see some Quill and IG-11 with Baby Yoda. There are more and more sightings of Jedi Master Luke and Sith Eternal Emperor, but really most people are aware of how to counter most of the setups, so the fights really aren't that interesting to watch. They're mostly definite wins or definite losses. Nonetheless, there are a couple of very clever counters that we're going to review this week. So let's dive in. This matchup is becoming more and more common to see after it was popularized by Zareth. The Rey, Han, and Chewie team is difficult even for many SLK teams to beat, but with this Rey mirror of a sort, you can pretty easily get 54 banners with some practice. This particular counter is interesting because the Itsjustian is only G12, so this is an excellent GP trade-up. And it's really a game of lifeblood and ability block. Keep lifeblooding Bastilla. Hermit Yoda is going to stay in stealth the whole time and never get hit directly by lifeblood. And then you go for ability blocks on the opposing Rey, throwing around stuns here and there when you can, to keep her from using sudden whirlwind. It's basically just slowing down the opposing Rey's damage while you keep your protection up and boost your damage with when you can do the sudden whirlwinds. And then your ultimate with Bastilla's buffs from Rally when you get to that point. You should always wait to trigger your ultimate second so you don't take any damage from the opposing Rey's ultimate, just like he did here. Just putting Master's Training now on Rey. You cannot do ability block under the effect of ultimate on Rey, since she has inspiration on her. However, you can still stun Han even though the ultimate is active on him. As you can see, Itsjustian just ate up a sudden whirlwind quite easily, and just keep on spamming away. He's using, or saving Rally, as I mentioned earlier, until it's close to the end. And you can see ability block did land on the opposing Rey there, even though she had damage immunity. So damage immunity is different than ultimate. I know some people sometimes get the effects of some of them mismatched. Okay, just saving away, going for another ability block perhaps, or a stun maybe on Han. That's very nice, slows down some damage. Another ultimate. Saving the heal from Hermit Yoda until the very end to maximize the banners as well. Now he goes into, or she goes into her ultimate. Again, it's always about timing here. Don't rush to do any damage. Take out the side characters, Han and Chewie, when you can, and most of all, make sure you keep your Rey stacked with lifeblood. There goes Han, and again, you eat the sudden whirlwind from the enemy Rey very easily. You do notice the time now is down to almost 1.5 minutes. It's very common, especially if you haven't done this fight a lot, for the fight to go down to less than 1 minute. That's totally normal. It's a little more difficult if you're doing a mirror against non-DPS characters, if there's a tank in there or something, because you usually have to use a few more sudden whirlwinds to get them out, because they stack up the bonus protection quite a lot, just like Han and Chewie do, but it's more effective for them due to their innate defense and armor. Here we are getting a bit close to the end. So now Rally is used on your Rey. She goes into her ultimate, and the ultimate is in, and there goes Hermit Yoda with his heal. And now here's the ultimate to finish her off. Ultimate is influenced by Rey's offensive stats, but not her sudden whirlwind. Great 54-point win. Very nice for G12 Itsjustian. It's another Newt matchup. I don't get tired of these. It's fascinating to see how they go downhill. They are definitely one of the most frequent places for banner losses. Now here, the Geonosian Brood Alpha, she used a basic. It should always be a cleanse there. The fight is effectively over from this point because the counterattacks from Dooku cannot be evaded, and he has 2 chances, 50% chance on the second one, to do an ability block or a stun. And now here, using a direct attack on, again, Dooku, is just giving him more chances to F you, essentially. Again, here finally, Spy takes a turn. Root would have taken a turn earlier if Dooku hadn't counterattacked at the beginning and stunned him. But as soon as that happened, then the extortion started to spread because Brute took a turn, and at the end of the turn, because he didn't clean extortion, started spreading to other people, and you can see the whole team has it now. And half the team is stunned. There's 4 targets. Here's another chance to use conscription, or a chance to use conscription, but everybody's stunned, so they're not assisting. And the sort of downside with the Geonosians against Newt, if you don't clean extortion right away and make sure your guys are ready to go, is you actually have 4 targets with extortion on them instead of 3 like you would within their team if you ignore extortion. But you can see just from the very beginning move, not using conscription, which is the heal and cleanse on Geobrood Alpha, not using that essentially gave you a huge disadvantage, and you're almost certainly not going to win with that sort of start, unfortunately. I'll try not to show too many more Newt fights, but I think it's important to just be aware of how dangerous they are if you don't start out correctly. Fight number 3. I may have lied. This is going to be the last Newt fight for this season of 3v3. It should be an easy victory since you have so much turn meter going basically with the little green hammer there, Grandmaster Yoda. Going after B2 at the beginning, excellent. You don't want to give him so much TM with his bonus TM from other people triggering him. You have a chance to remove extortion and you don't do it. And this causes all the buffs that Yoda gives out to be effectively worthless, which certainly doesn't help. B2 does die, that's great, so you have a bit of a chance to recover now. And, well, decided not to recover. Back to stacking up extortion. Still should be a very simple fight because you have so much regeneration and damage. Savior was just triggered there from Django. Luckily, this Django does not have the Zeta on Notorious Reputation, which prevents revives. Otherwise, Jolie would not be doing much here. He still has Bounty Hunter's Reputation, or Bounty Hunter's Resolve, rather. Just finished off Jedi Knight Revan. Puts out a lot of damage. An awesome relic, Django. So let's see. Looks like saving Jolie's Resurrect until both die. Not a bad choice. Bounty Hunter's Resolve is gone. He puts out so much damage, it's crazy. Okay, Jolie survived. Now time to use That Looks Pretty Bad. Both the Jedi are back. 2 of them have extortion already. It's going to pay off or kill Django. Now all 3 of them have extortion. Going to kill Django. Man, what a messy, messy fight. Again, this could have all been avoided if you would pay extortion at the beginning, because Django is getting all of those additional all of that additional speed, which allows him to take so many more hits and kill your guys. And there was a risk that if Jolie didn't have foresight or good mods, he could have died to the shrapnel blast. It's a tough match. Pay extortion. Fight number 4. What's the last time you've seen a Grand Moff Tarkin in Grandmaster or in GAC, even in 5v5s? This is a perfect setup. He's used for the speed, so Vader can go first and start to dismantle the team. Very nice. Thrawn gets a fracture on Jedi Knight Luke, so he doesn't get a turn. Going for the debuffs, and then you can get some TM reduction on Old Ben. Culling Blade on Hermit Yoda. Another Force Crush. Basic. Cleans up Old Ben, and this fight is over. The enemy didn't even take a single turn. This is not a low relic set of opponents either. Really the key here, yeah, look at that, beautiful. This is a great example of a very smart setup, making a very easy, nice 54 points. Great match. Fight number 5, the fight of the week, is a very smart fight. A little risky, but it works out very well. I've seen this in 5v5s a number of times, but it's rare in 3v3, mainly because you have a bit of a risk that the Mandalorian will not be able to get critical chance or critical damage up, which he needs to use his Disintegrate due to the buff immunity from B2. And you can see, yeah, he's gotten the buff a couple of times, or the debuff a couple of times. But with Grief, you can prevent that, of course, depending on the skill usage. Grief's Basic does a good job of regenerating health and protection under Boss Lead as well. Alright, so here we go. The assist from Bosk activates Disintegrate, and there goes Grievous. Very, very smart counter. Timing on everything was very smooth, and I think it turns out to be a 54-point win. But great counter. The turn order is set well here, and the skills were used a good time. Smart, good banner trade, since a lot of people end up using Jedi Knight Revan here, which is much better used in other places. Great match. Great match. Thank you for watching another episode of the Kyber Show. I'm hopeful to see some interesting Quill and IG-11 matches this coming week, but I'm not holding my breath. Good luck in your last week of matches, and I'll see you all next week. Cheers.